For your trouble, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? Dr. Chris Featherstone in the building with Vince Russo. Vince Russo, he's got a message to let everybody know. Just if anybody was inquiring, How are you, Vince?
I am doing all right, Dr. Chris. How are you? What am I supposed to say again? What am I supposed to say?
You're supposed to say something. So here's the deal. Since you didn't remind me, now people's got to come inside the fourth wall here, and so Vince and I, we always joke around and have good conversations before and after the show, and so so Shannon Moore is actually supposed to be on the show, and he's not here yet. He may come. He was expecting his agent, a promoter, was going to have him on the show. He confirmed, and so we're waiting for him. Don't see him yet, and so we had a conversation about he was like this. Basically, one of us thought that this was unprecedented, and no one has ever been on the show as a third man like the NWO. I said, no. Someone's been on the show before. He said, who? I said PJ. And he was like, okay. I don't remember. I said, okay, let's place a bet. Let's place a gentleman's bet.
Yes.
A gentleman's bet. If you so we basically gave each other sayings that we would have to say if the other person lost. All right. He lost, so now he has to say Dr. Chris is the greatest man alive.
Dr. Chris is the greatest man alive.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes.
How are you, Vince?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a rough day actually for me, to be honest with you. I'm a therapist, so I don't sugarcoat stuff when it comes to being honest. And tough. My back was turning real bad, so giving therapy to
sorry.
Yeah, man, therapy all day long with grimacing back pain. Very tough. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We've got a guest in the building. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, man, he's got a ton of accolades, and I still believe in my heart of hearts that he's still the greatest singer that ever came out of WCW, ladies and gentlemen, and he can't get you out of my heart. I think that's the song, if I'm not mistaken. So, but man, he made big noise in WWE in the cruiserweight division. He's an awesome person that's been in wrestling for a long time now. I think he'll tell you how long he's been in the wrestling business, if you will. And he is he's a former hardcore champion, if I'm not mistaken, too, and WCW, baby. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, he is the one, the only Shannon. You know what? I got something for about that. Shannon Moore.
Very nice. Very nice. There he is, man. Look at him.
Man. What's up, guys? How are you?
Oh, man.
Shannon, what's going on, man? I
Moore's
haven't
in the
seen
building.
you forever,
How are you,
man. You
man?
look great, bro.
Yeah. Sorry, I just woke up, man. My face is all swollen. Yeah, man. I've been going since about 4. I'm up at 4 a.m., man. So I'm up pretty early. So I'm getting old, Vince. I'm getting old.
You don't look it, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You don't look it. You look as youthful as ever, bro.
Yeah, it's yeah, man. I try to stay in shape, you know. For an
Yeah.
old man. For an old man.
Are you still in
Yes,
Carolina?
indeed. Yes, indeed.
Nah, I live in Tampa.
Oh, you live in Tampa now.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Nice.
Yeah, I'm in
Very
Tampa,
nice,
Florida
very
these
nice.
days, man.
You're looking good,
Awesome.
man. You're looking real good.
Well, yes, indeed. Awesome. Well, let's before we jump into Raw and do this thing, Shannon, you got a big event coming up, man. What is the event?
Yeah, you guys,
it's-
can you hear me?
you went out.
Yeah,
on
we
it.
lost your picture though.
Yeah, you blacked
Yeah.
out. You blacked out.
Oh, okay. I don't know
what
what's going on here. Hold on, man.
the picture went out.
All right.
Until you figure that out, we got a $5 super chat from P. Kirsting, bro. Why waste 3 hours watching crap when I can watch the 5-star leads in the Raw, bro? Thanks, guys, for every Monday night giving us real entertainment. Thank you, Mr. Kirsting.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And I don't disagree with this statement either, Chris.
I agree. So here's the real question, Vince. Is Shannon Moore the Black Scorpion? Oh, okay, there he is. There he is.
All
There he is.
All right.
Yeah, all right, cool. All right, you got you got a big event coming up, Shannon. What we got, man?
Yeah, well, I'm heading to Salem, Ohio, man, for the Dropkick Diabetes show that we're doing. Yeah, man, just looking forward to it. Coming back to Ohio, just over the years, it's crazy, man, how many times I can't remember exactly when the last time I was probably in that general area. But like just over the years, it's like everything turns into just one big show. It's nuts. And I don't know if it's my memory, my old age, or what it is, but I can never remember like the last time I was close to like somewhere that I'm getting ready to go to. But I'm sure I've been there at some point in the past. But it's crazy, man. Just everything. I don't know if it's getting old, if that's just what you chalk it up to, or if it's just headshots or concussions, or just maybe I'm just getting dumber as I get older. I don't know.
Hey, Chris, can we talk
Well,
about
we're
something?
not too far in age, Shannon. So if you're old, I'm old.
Chris, can we talk about something more interesting? Since I got Shannon on the show, and I've got a million questions to ask him. Can we talk about something more interesting than Raw? Like, bro, come on. This is a house show in front of 5,000 people. We've seen every match. I've seen Asuka and Becky Lynch 15 times now. Like, really. Shannon, I want to ask you something. I've talked about this many, many, many times, and I'm curious. I'm really, really, really curious. Bro, I've gone on the record and I've said many times, man, when I was at TNA, I was a huge fan of Shannon Moore. I was a huge fan of Shannon Moore. WCW 3 count was one of the greatest gimmicks of all time. And not my idea, by the way, Mr. Jimmy Hart. That was Jimmy Hart's baby. He smartened me up to it. And I said, yeah, we got to go with this. These guys with their putting their little dots, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Then I got to work with Shannon again when we went over to TNA. I want to talk about this, though, Shannon, because I'd love to know how you feel about this. Bro, Shannon was put in a terrible spot at TNA. And I talk about this all the time because I'll never forget it. Shannon was more or less Jeff Hardy's keeper. I mean, let's just be honest with that. Shannon and the Hardys go way back. They're really, really good friends. And part of Shannon's duties was to watch over Jeff, just to make sure there were no problems. And, I mean, we all know, Jeff is, we all love Jeff, great dude, but we all know that he has battled his demons. And Shannon was really put in a tough spot, a spot that I would have never wanted to be in all my life. Like, Shannon could not control another human being. I mean, Jeff Hardy was a man, and, Shannon, part of Shannon's job and duties was to look after Jeff Hardy. Shannon, I got to ask you this. 2 questions, if you don't mind. Number one, are you still close with those guys? And number 2, bro, how do you have to be feeling 15 years after the fact when you're seeing footage of Jeff Hardy, being pulled over, for the same exact reasons and issues that you were smack in the middle of, as somebody that was once close to him? My bro, how does that make you feel watching that? I'm just curious, because I don't know what your relationship is with them today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, man. Whenever, whenever I was in TNA, like it was weird because at that time, like, it wasn't a position that, like, I guess I signed up for, if you will, like, to be in that position. A lot of people, like, would ask me that, like, whenever we went back to TNA, I called Jeff, at that point, like, would, talk to Jarrett. And then, like, I know whenever he went back, whenever Hulk was wanting him back and all that good stuff, that was a decision that, like, I guess I talked to Jeff about coming back. Like, I was part of him coming back that time. And, not that I'm to blame or anything like that, but it's just what you do, man. It's what you do whenever, me and Jeff, we grew up together. He's one of my best friends. Like, I love Jeff to death. Um, One thing that I do understand more so now than I did then, because I mean, even at that time, man, like, I've had my own addiction problems myself. And like, I work in the addiction field. Like, I'm pretty much an unlicensed counselor. And
Nice.
I work with pro athletes now. That's what I do. It's, like, that's my job these days. So looking back now, and after going through what I've been through over the last years myself, like, dude, addiction, like, man, it doesn't discriminate until we educate ourselves, until we figure out how to, you can't beat addiction. All you can do is understand how to live without using, and you have to be educated on it. I had no education on this thing, on what addiction, what alcoholism was, until after, I guess, you hear the term a lot, being sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm.
And for me, whenever I struggled, man, like, I reached a point where I had no choice. Like, I was going to end up dead, or I was going to end up killing somebody, or I was going to end up in prison. And I had nowhere to turn. And I had a friend who reached out, and, and like I said, I know you asked about Jeff, but this kind of, will give you kind of insight of now looking back, like, seeing the bigger picture. Because it's easy for somebody to judge, right? It's easy for somebody to see, a video of somebody doing something wrong, or a video of somebody drunk in public or getting arrested, or whatever the case may be. But man, until you've actually, like, walked in those
Yeah.
shoes, in the shoes of addiction, like, you have to look at it as somebody being sick. I mean, it's not exact, but the way that I explain it, after I went through it, is like, it's like somebody, you know and it's like somebody, almost having cancer. And it's like, you have to treat the cancer. Like, if you want to get rid of the cancer, you have to treat it. And, like, addiction and alcoholism is the same way. It's something that has to be treated. So now, at this moment, whenever I see stuff like that, especially with my best friend, like, all I can hope for is like, dude, like, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Like, fix this, do this. And that's something that
Well, Shannon, let me ask you this, since you know him so well, and bro, I say this all the time. I say this all the time. Thank God, knock on wood, bro, I've never been addicted to anything. So I don't know.
yeah.
I've never been there. But I want, being his friend, like, bro, what do you think is the difference with you saying this has to be addressed? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Knowing Jeff for so long, bro, obviously it doesn't seem like he's at that point yet. Why do you think that is? I mean, what brought you to that point that might not be bringing Jeff to that point?
For me, it was the consequences. I was to the point where I was going to be homeless. I was out of finances at that point. Like my finances, my addiction was bigger than my finances. Um, and like I had a business, man. I had commercial real estate. I had all this stuff going on in my life, but until I reached that point where everything was going to go away, and including my life. I mean, like it was mental illness. Like a big thing of mine, like my addiction had become a lot of mental illness, if you will. And it got to that point where I had no choice but to either change for the better or drown,
Yeah.
dead, or end up in prison for the rest of my life. Like that was my two options.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you go, Shannon, I got a question for you. What advice would you what advice would you give to Jeff publicly?
Just listen, like if I was gonna give Jeff some advice or give anybody any advice, it would be, just you got to listen to the professionals, man. And go with what people that's been through it and how they've overcame it. Like you have to listen. I had to learn to like just shut up and just do. Because man, like I know for me, when I'm sick, whenever I'm in active addiction, my thoughts are wrong. My first thought's wrong. Like you're not in a sound mind to be able to, to do a lot of decision making, because like our decisions got us to that point where our addiction got that worse.
Yeah.
And me, I had to finally just shut up and do, and trust, man. Like it was hard for me to trust anybody. Road Dogg Brian James is the one. He saved my life. Yeah,
Wow.
Road Dogg, absolutely saved my life. He was the one person that reached out to me that got through to me and was like, "Hey, dude, why don't you give this a shot?"
Yeah, and he basically had to go through what you were going through, right? In order to tell you that. He was telling you based on his experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I knew that, and I seen that in Brian. Brian was somebody that me personally I partied with on the road, and whenever he finally first I'd seen him, like I've been to a couple of shows, like I've been to Raw and SmackDown to hang out, and like Brian was there, and he was in this top spot at the time. Like I was like, man, how's he do that? He's still Brian. He's still funny Brian.
Yeah.
Personality. Man, how's he doing this? Like it blew my mind that he could still be himself and not use. And I never understood how, until he finally was like, like, hey dude, you got to do this, man. Like you can go back to that old life. You can go back to the, to what you're doing in the moment. But just give this a shot. Just do it. And
Yeah.
like it wasn't easy. The first couple of weeks that I was in treatment, it was like, man, like, this sucks. I think I'm gonna leave. But, like I knew, and at that point I knew like if I left, I was gonna go right back to the old life that I was living.
Yeah.
But suddenly like it changes, man, and like you start getting some clarity, and then once the education kicks in, and like for me, whenever I started understanding that I was sick, That's whenever I was willing to go, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna listen to you guys. I'm gonna listen to what the professionals are telling me and trust somebody. Because in the business too, man, like
Yeah.
wrestling business, everything's a work.
Yep. Yep.
Don't trust nobody because everybody's out to get you.
Yep.
Like that's what you're and that was my mentality with everything.
Yeah.
So like to go in somewhere and have 10 people that's trying to educate me, I'm going, okay, where's the work here? Like where's the
Yeah.
who's trying to get over on me? So I had to learn to trust people too. And dude, and a lot of it's spiritual too. Like it was a huge spiritual journey for me. Like now, man, like the part that God plays in my life, like is huge. Being aware of what God has done for me in the past.
Yeah.
Now that conscious contact with God on a daily basis, like, it's huge in my life. And I know some people, they'll knock you for, whether it's a spiritual or a religious thing, but, I don't care because I'm comfortable with that. Like you can knock me if you want, but, hey, I'm finally living happy and I finally live sober and, like, thanks to God, like,
Oh yeah, man. I thank God you're good, man. It's so good to see you like this and over it. And that is God, bro. And man, I'm so happy to see you like this, bro. It's tremendous.
Yes, indeed, man. We should close it up, but before you go, Shannon, let them know about Dropkick Diabetes one more time, my man.
Yeah, dude, come check me out in Salem, Ohio, man. We're gonna rip it up. Just for calls, Dropkick Diabetes. Hopefully, we can raise a little bit of money and just entertain the masses. There's gonna be thousands and thousands of people there, right?
Nice.
Now, if they bring their overlarge dots, will you sign it for them, bro?
Yes. They're green platforms. They're circles. Nice. Where can they find you on social media, my man?
Yeah, man. On Twitter, I'm at the Shannon brand. Then on Facebook, just Shannon Moore. So just hit me up, man. I'm not on social media much, man. Like sometimes social media, it can be for me. If I'm not, I'm on there either advertising, hopefully trying to help somebody, but I try to stay out of all the nonsense, man. It'll take me down that rabbit hole quick. If I'm not.
Oh yeah.
That's wise, man. That's
Yeah.
wise. Shannon, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Great story, great journey.
Yeah.
Very inspiring, man. Appreciate you.
Cool. It's good seeing you guys.
All right, have a good night.
Great seeing you,
Likewise.
Shannon. Take care, man.
All right.
Good
Bye.
time. All right.
Yep.
Bye.
You didn't mind me asking him those questions, did you, Chris?
Oh, not at all, man. That's much better than Raw.
Well, let's talk about Raw. Chris, I got to tell you, I was surprised today. Like, this is even more shocking to me. I was surprised today. I was reading an article earlier today, and it was like they had 5,000 and something tickets sold for tonight's Raw. So, like that number, bro, I don't know why, but I thought Raw was drawing a bigger number than that live. So like it made it even worse for me. It's like, wait a minute, bro. You've got a television show that used to draw 10 million people. Now you're doing that same show for a house of 5,000.
I mean, even from the house standpoint, I mean, easy 7, 8, 9, 10,000 people weekly on a Raw. They barely scaled 3K in Wichita last week. Barely scaled 3K.
And they're right. They're putting together a show around that.
Yeah.
Blows
exactly.
my mind, bro. It just blows my mind, man.
Barely got 5 this week, barely got 3 last week. And it's like, you can't really blame the towns. I mean, there's still people know what wrestling is, I mean? So it's not about, people don't know wrestling in Wichita, Kansas or University of Nebraska. No, I mean, that's not, why would you have them there if you know that there's not going to be a big market? So that's hogwash to me. That's an excuse.
God, bro, Al Snow brings it up all the time when he's on my show. He always brings up roller derby. And he was telling me, bro, like there was a time. I actually went to live roller derby back in the day. Chris, there was a time roller derby drew like 45,000 people.
Wow.
And it's gone. And Al talks a lot about that, about, bro, we could be going down this same path. I mean, roller derby at one point in time was huge.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't have a WWE behind it and a Vince McMahon, but bro, that drew tens of thousands of people at one point.
What was the show? I used to watch roller games a lot on TV, and it had a pretty cool theme music. It was rock, and roller games. Yes, roller games. Yes, roller games was 13 episodes, one season. It was 1989 and 1990.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going back way before then, bro. I'm going back to like the 70s.
Yeah, so there was a roller games league from 61 to 75, and then roller games was the TV show that actually made it to one season. I remember watching that as a kid.
Yeah,
the roller game show. I used to love it. It was like they would just go around the roller derby. It was like hockey style, just boom. Just it was pretty cool.
The New York team was the New York Chiefs, and I actually went to a few roller derby match. I loved it, bro. It was hot, man, hot.
Nice. Yeah, very nice.
But
cool.
I was a little surprised that like 5,000. Yeah, I mean, bro, they're just, they go to a different town every Monday, and they're just basically mixing it up, but more or less doing the same thing on every show. I mean, that's really what we're looking at, bro.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah. With that being said, let's zoom through this, man. Let's just zoom through it. What a terrible pivot from such a amazing, inspiring, message from Shannon Moore.
Talk to him for the next hour about that. I really could have, because that is thank God, man. Thank God he's in good shape, man.
It's great to see him in good shape, man, for sure. Bianca, but speaking of good shape, Bianca Belair, cuts an in-ring promo.
Chris, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Sure, yeah.
I remember maybe one or two times seeing Bianca Belair on NXT way back when Charlotte and Becky and Sasha and all of them were there. And everybody was going goo goo gaga, not even over Becky. It was all over Charlotte and Sasha. Those were the big NXT stars. And I remember the first time I saw Bianca Belair and nobody was really talking about it, I really thought she was the cream of the crop. I got to ask you a question, though, bro, because I didn't watch it every week. Bro, I've maybe caught a total of 5 NXT shows in its run. Bro, was she that big in NXT? I mean, bro, she's massive. I don't remember her being that big in NXT. Was she that big when she came up?
Oh yeah. She's always had. She's a track star.
Her arms are huge. She's got
her legs are tree trunks, dude. Like it's bro. Yeah, she was like that before. Yeah, it doesn't because the gear kind of doesn't. It kind of camouflages the shape a bit, but she's wearing like tights and leggings and stuff. So when she does that, it really accentuates the shape more. And it just, I mean, her legs were like tree trunks, dude. Like it's
bro,
huge.
and it's really weird too, Chris, because the attention of the hair takes the attention off the body. And I'm like, I was looking at her cutting that promo tape because she was showing a little bit more. And I'm like, oh my, like this woman is put together. Like, my God, bro.
Chiseled stone, man. Yeah, she is.
She's bigger than her husband, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you talk about the airport test, man. I mean, she passes it with flying colors for sure, man. She looks like a star. I mean, like, and I agree with you. You know, just to be relegated to the hair gimmick, it really takes away from the fact that she is a stud athlete. Like, it's just, I don't get it. I mean, she's a track star. You can tell. You know what I mean? Like, there's just. I don't know. I think it just really relegates her character, man. So and people. It's funny because you have the comments of she can't wrestle, and just trolls. Trolls are trolls, man. But it's crazy that if she had the right gimmick, I'm totally cool with her being a babyface because she's infectious to the crowd, and you know, Bianca Belair is like she's really geared for the kids. You know, what I mean, she's one of those people who can be such an inspiration to little kids that just keep her as a babyface. But I mean, the hair deal.
I
Now,
don't
granted,
believe
there are people like I've seen on videos that little girls like they have like long hair and they do the hair whip and things like that. I get that, you know what I mean, and I understand that, but I just think I don't think the shelf life is that long. I think she goes way past the shelf life of the hair gimmick.
I
You know what I mean?
agree
Because
with you.
that's going to get old.
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, as somebody that worked with Joni for many, many, many years, I was
Mhm.
looking at Bianca Belair tonight, and she could have went toe to toe with China. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no doubt in my mind she
Mhm.
is a big, big, muscular
Yeah.
woman, bro.
She's
Yeah,
huge. Absolutely.
yeah.
So says Rhea Ripley can't compete at Money in the Bank. She's not cleared. Then that turns into a 5-person new number one contenders match with another number one contenders match. Carmella wins this time. All the contenders comes out and they argue and do all that stuff. Carmella ends up winning, beating Liv Morgan, Asuka, Becky Lynch, and Alexa Bliss. I personally thought that Carmella was going to win because this was, I kind of got the feeling that this is going to be filler anyways. And Rhea Ripley actually had a much bigger shot of winning it than Carmella does, but I kind of was like, eventually I was like, yeah, this is probably just a filler, for Money in the Bank. And with Carmella, it definitely feels like filler now.
So is Rhea Ripley shoot hurt?
So she got on was it Hell in a Cell? Or it was either Raw or Hell in a Cell. She got kneed, and so it caused her to have like dental work. And so
Oh,
yeah,
ouch.
yeah,
Oh,
she had
that
dental work on
sucks.
her. And so yeah, so she needs to
Mm,
recover from that. Yeah.
yeah.
She got kneed by somebody. I forgot who it was. But yeah, so she can't compete. And so yeah, she'll it won't be long, but it just a few weeks after getting her teeth knocked out,
Mm,
that's not going to work out too well,
yeah.
especially with the dental work. So yeah, so it's Carmella just feels like a filler. Either we're going to get Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair at SummerSlam, or they're going to rehash the Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair since Becky Lynch beat her in like 6 seconds or whatever it was last year.
Bro, they're rehashing these things to death. When I saw like the Roman Reigns Brock thing, I'm like, guys, are you serious,
Oh,
bro? Like,
yes.
how
Yeah.
many times? Like, seriously, bro?
So Randy was supposed to be Roman's opponent at SummerSlam, and he's legit hurt. So he's going to be out for the rest of the year. So they hot shot Brock in there. Instead of instead of building another baby face, you just go back to the well,
Yeah.
call Lesnar from Saskatchewan, and brings him here to go against Roman Reigns. How many times does Roman Reigns? Because Randy wasn't going to beat Reigns. So does this flip the script now and have Brock like you have this, see this makes me so upset, Vince. Talk about an inability to develop new talent. Roman Reigns has had that belt, has had the Universal Championship since a week after SummerSlam 2 years ago. So it's been almost 2 years that he's had that title. That is unprecedented in modern day, championship reigns. Unprecedented. And Punk had it for a little like a year and some tax, about a year and a few months. And that seemed like it was like 434 days. Roman's had it for over 600 days. Unprecedented. Perfect opportunity to pass this onto a babyface to make him look good. Why in the world would you have Brock Lesnar be the guy
Bro,
who beats Roman Reigns?
there's nobody close to to that guy you're talking about. There's nobody close. There's no baby face close to that role, bro. Not even close.
Yeah. And it's sad to see. And then if you have Brock Lesnar beat him, it's like that to me. If Brock Lesnar beats Roman Reigns, it just proves to me how much they just are failing miserably at building new stars. I mean, it's just there's no doubt in my mind to that. Yeah. Vince McMahon cuts an in-ring promo. He makes a John Cena reference. He came out on SmackDown too.
Bro, I gotta say this, and I know we have to be careful, and I am going to be very careful.
Yes.
I'm not gonna piss anybody off. I'm going to be very, very careful. But I was understood that we could only talk about the facts. This is all I'm asking, seriously, bro. Like, is he trying to get the John Cena rub? Like, that was the only thing I took away from this. Like, bro, is he actually trying to get a rub off of John Cena? That was the only thing I took away from it, bro.
I don't think so. I'll say this. Vince. My undergrad is in PR. All right. So I know all about PR. So I'll just leave it at that. All right. I'll just leave it at that. Next we have Omos versus Riddle. And it's Money Bank qualifying match. He beats Riddle, and then Seth Rollins attacks Riddle post match. And so, after,
was there a reason Seth Rollins attacked Riddle? That
I was trying to figure that out too.
Okay, so I didn't miss anything. Okay,
no, unless I missed it too. I didn't know that. I didn't know he did. There was a reason. Then we get the Theory in ring promo / pose down, and gets interrupted by Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley has the baby oil this week, so he realized that it was a kryptonite for him, and so therefore he said, "Okay, this is what caused me to melt. Okay, I'm going to use the same kryptonite on Theory.
Different town, reverse it. Different town, reverse it. That's it. We saw this last week. We're in a different town. Reverse it. Seriously, that's it."
Yep. Angelo Dawkins defeats Jey Uso. Last week we saw a 1-on-1 match between Jimmy Uso and Montez Ford. Now we're getting a 1-on-1 match between the other two tag team wrestlers. How redundant can you get, man? It's just like, how is this building the hype for us to see a title match by just having a bunch of different variations of the tag teams going against each other? How is that building a story, Vince?
It's not.
It's just overkill. It's oversaturation. It's like, okay, so what's my buy-in to actually see this tag title match if I've seen this tag title match plenty times before, for one, and for two, now I'm just seeing different variations of this match in singles form, and it's just like, and we saw it in trios, 6-man. We saw it in singles. We saw the tag team match over and over again.
Bro, that's the house show. That, again, for you guys, just so you know, the house show formula is, different variations of the same match. One night the baby goes over, one night the heel go. I mean, that's what a house show is. Yeah. One night the baby goes over, the heel go. That's exactly what they're seeing on the show. But the next segment is really interesting because I gotta. We might have to throw a little wager down on this, Dr. Chris.
Okay.
Bro, how nervous are they throughout the entire day? Bro, literally somebody's job was on the line. If Elias's beard came off.
Oh, I was thinking that too.
Bro, okay, so hedge the bets, bro. How long is it before the beard comes off, bro? How long is it before the beard comes off and they completely embarrass themselves?
I think this is a one-off, though. I think we'll see, because it's supposed to be Ezekiel, because they probably know, especially if he starts sweating. Like the stash and the beard's coming off. It's coming off,
bro. They're gonna go to the well again. I'm telling you, bro. They're gonna go to the well again, and it's gonna come off live on national television. I'm telling you, bro.
They might do it on purpose and have it come off on purpose, and then finally at the end, Kevin Owens is like, "I knew you were Ezekiel." It's probably what they're gonna do. So man. Then we do the Elias concert. And I'm like, okay, so I looked at Elias, even with the fake beard. I'm like, man, star. He just looks like a star, man. I just compared to Ezekiel, he looks like an absolute star.
Bro,
I
just
like
think
the,
about this. When we were looking at, the movie Magic and the two guys are in the same shot, I'm looking at this, bro, and I'm like, bro, like with their creative, let's be honest, how long can they carry this out? I mean,
yes.
seriously, bro, how long are they going to be able to string this along?
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think it is Kevin Owens realizing that they're the same person, or something of that nature. I don't see Ezekiel uh, being over. To me, he just looks too generic. For the sake of making Elias look, good, it makes sense because he's got Elias. Elias is very stylish, and so Ezekiel looking very generic and actually compliments his brother Elias. So I get that, and I'm cool with
Yeah.
that. But I'm just like, okay, so when does this over with though? When do we see?
Yeah,
Because
no, bro.
the fans are not really interested anymore either.
Yeah, no, and bro, listen, see, bro, we never know what's piped in and what's not.
Mhm.
I mean, bro, because when I was watching Saturday, I'm sorry, when I was watching SmackDown on Friday, bro, there was definitely Vince McMahon boos, and
Mhm.
they definitely were piping in cheers. So I was gonna say Elias got a good response, but we don't really know, bro,
Yeah,
because
we
bro,
don't
keep
know.
in mind there's only 5,000 people in the building.
Yep. Yeah. True.
So
And I was watch when when it came here, the Raw and the SmackDown the past 6 months in Columbus. I went to both, and I watched I believe it was a little bit of Raw over again, and I was like, no, I mean those weren't the cheers. That didn't happen in real
right.
life, and
Yeah,
so yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was definitely in. Next, we have Bobby Lashley defeating Chad Gable, Otis, and Theory to win a U.S. title match, Money in the Bank. I actually wasn't too. This was a different shade of everything else. It was a bit different than everybody else. It makes Lashley look like a baby face. The only thing I didn't like was he was going too back and forth with Chad Gable. He should absolutely demolish
Yeah,
Chad
I
Gable.
agree.
Otis
I
was the
definitely
person that
agree.
he probably should have went back and forth with the most, and then
Yeah.
Gable. I didn't mind the attack, and it made sense. The theories coming out to pick up the scraps. I get that, but the segment wasn't bad. I actually think it was overall good for Lashley. I just didn't like the Chad Gable back and forth.
Yeah, yeah. And bro, too, like that's another thing. Like Lashley and Otis could have been interesting had
Mhm.
they been more careful with Otis. I mean, it
Correct.
really, two guys that big, that could have been interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it
I
wasn't
agree.
because who's gonna go over. You know what I mean?
Yep, agreed. Next, we have Bianca Belair in the backstage interview, and she gets attacked by Carmella. So she plays the like, oh, okay. She gets hit from behind, and then she stays for a little bit, and then soon as Carmella says her thing and leaves, she gets right up, and then she's like, like, oh, where are you at now? I just timing was really off on that segment.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. AJ Styles hits up Miz TV, and she Styles goes back and forth with Miz, and Miz mentions his slump. He gets attacked by Ciampa. I don't know what is Ciampa like the jobber hitman for
I
Miz, like
swear,
the
bro.
what
Like I
is he
said,
like?
I'm just gonna go back to I don't watch NXT, so I only know Champa from this show. I know nothing about this guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing, bro.
It's the way that they're making him is absolutely horrible. He's not winning matches. He's jobbing out, and he's even said before, like he did not want to go up to the main roster because he thought that he would be lost in the shuffle. He wanted to
Yeah,
stay in NXT, and I give him major credit for it because he was one of top stars ever in NXT. One of the biggest stars ever in NXT. And from that type of fanfare and popularity to what we see now, I mean, he's another carrying cross, man. So it's just someone who has a bunch of potential, who was super known and popular before hitting the main roster, and then they hit the main roster and become a shell of themselves,
Bro,
not because of anything of their own.
I just don't understand, bro. The thing that's really troubling me, because I also saw the Dynamite number, bro. I think it was I'm sorry. What's the Friday not Dynamite? What's the Friday night show?
Rampage.
Bro, it was 331,000 people.
Yeah.
Bro, I just do they just not believe wrestling as a whole that it's going to catch up with them? Bro, let's flip the script for a second. Okay.
Before you said that, Dynamite went down almost 200,000 in a week.
Bro, let's flip the switch for a second. When I was writing, Attitude Era for Vince, bro, when I was writing across the board, okay, we knew weekly, consistent television shows, the rating is going to grow over time. Not tomorrow, not in 3 months, in a year. Good shows every single week. And bro, listen, I could spend the time and I could get graphs made up, and you will see exactly that, bro. You will see this over a year. Bro, the exact opposite works. I mean, the exact opposite. You're going to get the same results. Bad shows week after week after week for a duration of time. It's going to catch up with you, bro. And yep. I don't know if they're not taking this into consideration, if they just think, well, no matter what, that 1.5 million is always going to be there. But I'm just telling you, bro, they need to start taking this seriously, because, bro, I was looking at that Friday night number and I'm like, listen, bro, I've said this all along. I would not be the least bit surprised if Tony Khan is actually paying TNT for the television time for the Rampage show. I would not be the least bit surprised, bro. But even if he was, bro, they can't afford to have a show on that's doing 330,000 people. No.
Well, that's probably the reason why they don't have that primetime spot on Fridays. They got that 10 o'clock spot because of, they just aren't bringing in the numbers. And it's just, there's nothing distinguished about Rampage. It just feels like a branch off of Dynamite. It's just, there's nothing that sets it apart. It doesn't feel like a different branded show. It's like, okay, well, we got this stack of we got this stack of matches for this 2-hour slot, and then we have this stack of matches for this 1-hour slot, and that's essentially what Excalibur does every week. Okay, well, in Dynamite we got such and such versus this, and then on Rampage we got this versus this, and so they just kind of give the bunch of matches for the week of the following week, so it just doesn't feel distinguished at all. And so it just seems like that's the reason why, like, if Dynamite isn't hitting 1 million, you can't expect Rampage to get better if it's just an extension of Dynamite, which isn't increasing. It's just it's just numbers to me. Next we have Veer, your boy Veer.
Bro, what does he have? What was that gimmick? Does he got like a big Band-Aid on his head with a red magic mark through him? Like, what was that, bro? That was like
I don't know. Look,
band.
Sportskeeda is an Indian-based site. There's a lot of people watching from India. Is that some Punjabi sign?
I don't know what that was, but it literally looked like a gauze pad with a red. Yeah. But I'm like, because I swear to God, the first thing I'm thinking of was he hurt? Is that why he's wearing a bandage on his head?
He's been doing that gimmick for a while though, since he started. He's had that same thing on his forehead. I don't know what it is. Again, look, I'm a forever student. I love to learn. Smarten me up if someone knows what the symbolism of that is. Again, if our boy Riju is on deck, he would know. He's in India right now. So,
bro, you know
yeah.
what the problem is? Let me get, bro. This is a perfect example. This is a perfect example. You got Veer Mahaan, who's supposed to be this vicious heel.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem. There's no baby face he can attack that anybody cares about. Okay?
That's exactly right.
That is the problem. Like, bro,
Yes.
back in the day, bro, what did Jake do? Oh, Steamboat. Back in the day when a heel came aboard, bro, there were 5 baby faces where if the new heel would have done something to one of these baby faces, instantly, bro, he was on top of the card. Instantly. Yep. And they did that, bro, over and over and over. Bro, back in Bruno's era, they would pick on Chief J Strongbow because it was Bruno and Strongbow. And, when the heel got to Strongbow, oh, my God, now he's right up there. Bro, this went on through the years. So now that they've kept Veer Mahaan pretty much virgin clean, there's no baby face that matters that he could attack. Who?
No.
Bro, who? AJ? Like, who? That's the problem, bro.
He did the Mysterios. That was a in and out type of plowing through, because neither of the Mysterios are relevant at all right now. And AJ's been on the slump for months, so he's not really booked strongly. He's not relevant. Finn's a heel now. Lashley's with Theory. Who else do you have?
There's nobody, bro. There's nobody. Remember when they Papa Shango went after Ultimate Warrior.
And Hogan.
Immediately now he's in the conversation. There's nobody to put Veer in the conversation.
Same thing with Nails. Nails, Boss Man was a big babyface at the time.
Yep.
Nails comes in and he beats the tar out of Big Boss Man, immediately made him look like a credible heel. And then they played, hey, you didn't let you mistreated me while I was in jail, Boss Man. You know what I mean? And it was awesome. It was a great story. It's like, who the heck is this ugly mug? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, who is this? You know what I mean? Big Boss Man was a super lovable Cobb County, Georgia. Made the babyface turn. Was super over as a babyface. This guy just comes in with the prisoner, jumpsuit on, down the ramp, and just comes in and beat the snot out of him. I'm like, what? And so that's how you build heels. They come in and the baby face is big enough to make them look credible. Just imagine
Kane and Taker, bro. Kane and Taker.
Yes, Kane and Taker's another one.
101.
I mean? Even the Giant, when Paul White came in with Hogan in WCW. Did nobody know who Paul White was? Nope. Nobody knew who Paul White was. He comes against Hogan, and all of a sudden he's credible. Even if we do not know who the heck he is. And he won the World Heavyweight Championship on his first match. In 1995, his first match, he won the World Heavyweight Championship against Hulk Hogan. And so it's like, that's how you build heels. Just imagine Nails coming in and beating up, someone like, Tom Jenkins, who had a couple of good matches here and there and won some and lost some, and then Nails comes in and beats him up. It's like, okay, who's this guy? You know what I mean? Like, the credibility is not the same. You know what I mean? Who's like, for instance, who's like a decent, heel? I mean, a decent babyface at that time, like in 1992, that wasn't that was just kind of off and on, like just kind of SK Nation. Who y'all got? Virgil. So, all right, there you go. Awesome Sauce says Virgil. Okay, so Virgil in 1992, after his even then, he was still a decent name, feuding with DiBiase. people saying Virgil. All right, I'll give you Virgil then. Who else do you got? Someone in like 1992 that was just kind of run of the mill, kind of mid card. Tito. What do you think? What do you think, Vince? Tito? Does he
Yeah,
fit the bill?
I
He's a
don't
Hall
think
of
he.
Famer though, man.
Yeah, but I don't think he was strong enough. You know.
You don't think he was strong enough? So if Nails
No,
would have came and beat
no.
Nails would
Bro,
have came and beat up Tito.
I'll tell you before. You see, you always had the guy. It was always the guy right below the champion. You know who was another guy that got the heels over, bro? I don't know if you remember. Bro, he was over huge in New York. I don't think people remember how huge he was over. But, you know,
someone said Marty Jannetty. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you had Bruno, and then you had under him like a Chief J Strongbow.
Mhm.
Bro, Ivan Putski was one of those guys. Ivan Putski was one of the babyface that was like never going to be the champion, but when you wanted to get a heel over, boom, he immediately went after Putski. Like, oh my God. Oh yeah, bro. They've done this since the beginning of freaking time, bro.
Absolutely. 100%
But that's the problem. So he's cutting promos in his native language, and all right, bro, who you gonna beat up that means anything?
Yeah, agreed.
You know.
Next we have closing up with Asuka defending.
Wait, bro,
Becky Lynch.
what did I miss? What did I miss before we get to the last match? What did I miss with Ezekiel, Elias, and Elrod?
Yeah, so Kevin Owens was just kind of throwing names out there. He said, he's going to bring out another brother that we'd never met, Elrod. He just kind of threw that name out there. So backstage, when Ezekiel walks up, he gets kind of like shocked, and he's like, going insane about the match or whatever. He's considerate, who's in, I'm in or whatever. So he goes insane and he talks about Elrod again. So, yeah. Yep. Just always remember, Vince, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ezekiel.
Yes. Crazy. Yeah. And then, bro, seriously, how many times have we seen Oscar and Becky now?
Too many times. Again, it goes back to what relevance is it again for them to have a match if they've had 7 already in the past year? It really dilutes the excitement and the buy-in for a match like this. It's like, oh man, we're seeing this again. I don't understand. Like, what happened to the stories, Vince? What happened to the stories, man?
Bro,
do they really think this is the formula? Do they really think this is the formula?
Bro, let me ask you a question. Can you name the last time we saw a story? What's the last story you remember? Bro, you know what's the last story I remember?
I would say Roman and Jay.
The Mysterios with Buddy and the daughter, and that's the last storyline I remember.
Yeah, recently was Roman with the Usos with Jay. Jimmy was out hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Bro, that was a good story.
How long ago was that though?
That was about a year and a half ago. Little over a year and a half ago, actually. It was close to 2 years because he won. He won in August of 2020. And then the J thing was throughout the rest of the year, for the better part of the rest of the year in 2020. So it's been a year and a half, nearly 2 years. So yeah, that was about it. Yeah. So and that was the first story that we've seen that a good story that had some legs to it. That was for a while. That's the first time in a while.
Now, also too, bro, when we look at this opening match, the 5-way fatal five, where was Doudrop? Is she hurt too now?
Nothing I know of. I just think
she just
Nikki
wasn't. She wasn't.
She was not there too. Yeah. No. Nikki ASH and Doudrop were not used, so they're just picking people from a hat. Hey, let me fly here and sit in catering. That's I mean, like, come on. I could have been doing, especially people. Just think about that, Vince. People with families. Like they
Yeah.
want someone like a Cedric Alexander to come and all the way to Nebraska where he could be home enjoying his life with his family. Like, I don't understand that. We just want you to sit in catering and just do nothing but sit in catering backstage where you could be home spending time with your family.
Bro, you're always going to get this has to stop because I'm not seeing it. You're always going to get with all these guys. You bring up Cedric, whatever his face is.
Alexander.
You're always going to hear about the opportunity and the machine behind you. And you can't put a price on that. What machine and what opportunity? Correct. Like really, bro, that does not exist anymore. There is no machine. What machine? Who is the machine? Is the machine behind Austin Theory? The machine and the opportunity, it doesn't exist anymore, bro.
Yeah, agreed. And nowadays, with the different types of opportunities going on television wise, and even like, for instance, Impact Wrestling, I watched their Slammiversary. Actually wasn't bad. It was a solid show, and there's opportunities everywhere, man. I mean, New Japan, AEW, the indie world is back. COVID's basically stabling out, and COVID, there's indie shows everywhere now.
Right. That's why I say, bro, when you bring up a Cedric Alexander and all those people involved in the 24/7, and okay, we want you to show up and just do this, bro. There is no doubt in my mind the people in those roles could make the same amount of money on their own. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind they could match their money doing it on their own, really being an independent contractor, calling their own shots. I don't know what the benefit is of being on the roster anymore. I don't know what the benefit is.
I think a lot of wrestlers don't want to grind and do the hard. Like, for instance, if they left WWE, they don't have, the machine backing them up is they're doing all the promotion. They're doing, of course, their production is bar none. I mean, they have the best production in all of professional wrestling. WWE does, and so with that, and with the really good production, the really good promotion, they basically have that in their pocket by being a WWE, contractor, employee, but not really contractor. If they didn't have that, then they have a different name that they didn't really get popular from. Then they have to do the grind of doing that. But at the same time, yes, it's a lot of work to do that grind and a lot of traveling to do these indie stuff, and you have to pay for a lot of stuff by yourself. But at the same time, the freedom that you have to accept bookings, decline bookings, actually spend time with your family, don't just go somewhere. You basically have the power. You basically have the say so. If I'm an independent, if I'm away from WWE and someone chooses me or calls me for a date, I basically given them, the list, you know what I mean? And they're basically catering to me as opposed to me going to being a WWE employee. They're saying, okay, well, I need you here at this time. I need you to be at this station. I need you to do this and this interview and that interview. I need you to get up this time and that time. You have to basically be a cog in a wheel a lot of times when it comes to checking that list. So it is a big difference. You have the advantage of WWE pushing you and their brand that comes with that. But nowadays, is it really worth it? And I would say not really.
And
unless you're the top tier, it's not worth it.
I would say, Chris, doing it on your own terms is going to be 1,000% more rewarding. There's
Absolutely.
no what I am doing right now is a million times more rewarding than if I actually worked for one of these wrestling companies. That's a shoot, bro. That is a 100% shoot, because like you said, bro, you got the freedom. You call your own shots, you set your own price. You want to do it, you don't want to do it. It's 1,000% up to you, man. You know what? I need a little bit more money this week. I'm going to grind a little bit more. I'm going to work a couple extra shows this month. You control your own destiny. Don't tell me there's anything more rewarding than that, bro, because there's not. This is not the WWF machine that once existed. That's not what we're looking at here, bro.
Correct. Correct. Well, one machine that does exist and will exist is the brand and channel attitude, bro. And those steel.
Should I do the show next week with no shirt like Shannon Moore did?
I think so.
I think about that.
Yeah, man. I think you give him a run for his money.
Yeah, I'll think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I know who's Black Scorpion is going to be shirtless next week, I heard.
Is he really? Yeah, I'd like him to join us. Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a review show with the Black Scorpion. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes. He'll be the third man for next week, perhaps.
Yes.
Let him know about the brand, my man. And the channel
guys,
attitude.
check it out, man. Check it out. Many shows, a lot of different shows, a lot of different personalities. Just go to channelattitude.com.
Indeed. People putting Toots Mon over. Toots.
Yes, Toots.
Yes, indeed. Toots Mon. And it's funny, man. It's just, we just have so much fun on the Leagues in a Row. We really put, because of myself and Vince Russo, Toots Mont and the Black Scorpion are more over than Raw is. I mean, come on.
Well, you know who else I want to give a shout out
and
to?
Joey.
Yeah, you know what else I want to give a shout out to? I believe he's still on Sportskeeda. Is Dutch Mantel still on Sportskeeda?
Oh yeah, 30 Dutch.
Bro, I saw like a little 10-minute YouTube with Dutch, because I love Dutch. Bro, his mustache is so out of control. His mustache, I think, is alive, bro. Like, I hadn't seen Dutch in a while, and I saw that thing. I'm like, bro, what are we doing here, bro? Oh my gosh. Dutch is the best.
His mustache should have a name, Vince. That's how big and out of control it is, man. Absolutely.
Phenomenal. Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here, Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Until next time, so long!